Thank you for your industry leadership and for your continued support of these vital programs to bring the floral message to the media and to consumers. If you are a wholesaler, grower, importer, or supplier and are not yet participating, because we all know you will, in the PR fund, please consider being a partner with us today. We need your support to keep this great program thriving. You should have received a sign-up form in your registration packet, or you can also pick one up at the SAF registration desk back outside. For everyone else, please take a look at that list. When you get home, we ask that you please make a point to wholeheartedly say thank you to those on the list with whom you do business for their leadership in industry promotion. It is because of their commitment that we can continue to develop and conduct great programs that we do. If they're not on that list, encourage them to consider joining the leaders in this industry in this vital promotion effort. SAF has a great programs that the industry as a whole benefits from and that you can directly benefit from. We encourage you to be aware of all the marketing tools, resources, and advice that are available to you as part of your SAF membership. Start by taking a look at safnow.org and click on the Sales and Marketing tab. For more news on the 2014 programs and what's to come in 2015, keep an eye on SAF publications, Facebook, and Twitter, and join us in this journey to spread the good news about the floral industry. And now I'd like to introduce Kate Penn, SAF's Chief Content and Publishing Officer and the Editor-in-Chief of Floral Management Magazine, to present the Floral Management Marketer of the Year Award. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be able to announce this year's winner. But I'd first like to ask our partner on this project to join me on the stage, Dwight Larimer of Design Master Color Tool. This also marks Dwight's 21st year of sponsoring the $5,000 cash prize that we give the winner every year. Dwight was actually part of Floral Management's advisory committee which developed this award. And they had envisioned an award that would honor outstanding marketing efforts and inspire others to do the same. Dwight knew that a generous cash prize was important to creating excitement for the award. So Dwight, thank you for 21 years of bringing so much excitement to this honor. Before I announce this year's winner, I want to thank this year's judging panel. They are tasked with pouring through a box of entries and ranking each one based on 4 criteria: uniqueness, success, professionalism, and use of resources. So I want to give a special thanks to this year's judging panel, which includes several past winners. If you're in the room, please stand up. Paul Bachman of Bachman's Inc. in Minneapolis, which won in 2011. Rick Canal of Exotic Flowers in Boston. He was our 2008 winner. Cheryl Denham of Arizona Family Florist in Mesa, Arizona, our 2012 winner. BJ Dyer of Bouquets in Denver. Bouquets is a 2-time winner. They won in 2002 and again in 2009. Marty and Jane Lopnow of Waukesha Floral in Wisconsin in their Floral Management's 2004 Marketer of the Year. And Daniel Mackey of Ogilvy Public Relations, which has handled SAF's PR programs for more than 20 years. A big thanks to the panel for lending us your expertise, perspective, and judgment. With that said, it's time to announce this year's winner. Floral Management's 21st Annual Marketer of the Year is Sun Valley Floral Farms in Arcata, California. And Lane Devries, President and CEO, and Bill Prescott, who heads up their marketing, will stand on stage while we tell everybody a bit about your campaign. Now, before I do that, I first want to show a 1-minute video that probably best illustrates why Lane started this campaign to begin with. So just keep
Rij om naar
watching,
binnen te gaan. Bloemen kopen.
seeing what the people are carrying. That's a flower shop right there. Guess what? This is not in the
So.
United States.
Die hebben wel meer dan één.
Er zijn wel bij vrouwen.
Ja.
We should have had
Lubov niet
subtitles on
zijn.
this. That is Women's Day in Russia. Yeah. So you can kind of see why Lane got started on this. Now, if you're not familiar with that video and what was happening there, you probably are familiar with this image, or at least what it represents. You see that peak on the left? That's Valentine's Day. And the peak on the right is Mother's Day. The valley, everything in between. Lane Devries wanted to do what everyone in this industry hopes for, to grow their business beyond those two established key holidays. The scene in the video represented to Lane the promise of growing not only his company, but the entire industry. The genesis of this idea goes back to 2009, during a routine staff meeting at Sun Valley. They were talking about Women's Day, and Debbie Hartman, a member of the Sun Valley team, asked, wouldn't it be great if this could be a flower holiday in the United States? The light bulb went off for Lane. Having grown up in Holland, he knew all about the holiday. With the right marketing push, he wondered, could Women's Day become a flower-giving event in the United States and a growth opportunity for Sun Valley? There was a lot to like about Women's Day. First, flowers are central to observing it. Yet it's not tied to a specific flower. There's no iconic Women's Day flower as there is with Valentine's Day. Even better, as Dave Mitchell pointed out earlier, it's not limited to just one category of women, but it's celebrated by all women, regardless of age, marital, or maternal status. In a country like the United States, where most consumers need to be reminded to buy flowers, Women's Day was, as Lane put it to us, low-hanging fruit. But Lane knew he couldn't be the only one harvesting it to make it successful. So began his grassroots effort to rally support. In March of 2010, less than a year after Debbie Hartman had planted the seed of that idea, Lane made his first step toward rallying industry support for a Women's Day campaign. In a room of about 100 industry peers attending SAF's Congressional Action Days, he talked about the holiday and the opportunity it presented for the floral industry. That day happened to be March 8th, and Lane had arranged for hundreds of bunches of tulips to be shipped to D.C. He'd hoped to be able to talk a few fellow Congressional Action Days attendees to joining him on a break to pass the flowers out to women on the street. Well, in what turned out to be part flash mob, part grassroots advocacy, about 30 retailers, wholesalers, and growers trekked a few blocks into Georgetown, toting these bunches of flowers, which they handed to women. Some were initially suspicious, but all were undeniably delighted with the gesture. That bit at Congressional Action Days was the beginning of a 4-year effort to generate enthusiasm for Women's Day within the floral industry, a central part of Sun Valley's strategy for growing it. Lane reached out to wholesale florists, supermarket chains, retail florists, plus Teleflora, FTD, 1-800-Flowers, SAF, and the California Cut Flower Commission, all in hopes of getting more in the industry to make a push for Women's Day. At the 2012 International Floriculture Expo in Miami, rather than make its 20 by 20 booth a showpiece for Sun Valley, they converted it into an interactive stand for Women's Day. Lane also wanted to make Women's Day promotion as easy as possible for his customers. So that same year, Sun Valley's in-house marketing team created beautiful point-of-purchase materials featuring images of happy women with gorgeous flowers, care and handling tips, and most important, the call to action: buy flowers for the women in your life on March 8th. Customers could print off these posters and web banners and flyers for their own locations. By the fall of 2013, 8 supermarket chains and 4 wholesalers had requested Sun Valley's promotional materials. Another step toward getting retailers to promote the holiday, Lane, who was on the SAF board at the time, had convinced SAF to create its own materials, which Dave Mitchell had shown us earlier. Lane's outreach also included mainstream media outlets in our industry, including the trade press and social media. He pitched op-eds on making the case for Women's Day to Floral Management and Produce News, and he took out paid advertising in trade magazines as well. By the winter of 2014, Lane took his message to the national consumer stage. Partnering with 1-800-Flowers on March 8th of this past year, Sun Valley gave about 10,000 tulips away to women passing through Penn and Grand Central stations. That same day, CBS's The Talk and its 2.5 million viewers covered the holiday, and Parade Magazine ran an article promoting it as well, both the result of that Sun Valley 1-800-Flowers media push. By 2014, Lane was thrilled to learn that others in the industry were promoting Women's Day without his prodding. Lane is encouraged by this, and Sun Valley has its own sales figures as proof of the promise of this holiday. From 2012 to 2014, the company saw a 76% increase in tulip sales during week 9, and overall revenue during that same period rose 9%. Lane expects those results to only continue, but his real hope is that others in the industry will experience the same. And this is what impressed the judges. Not only the success of the campaign for Sun Valley, but the fact that if it continues to grow, it stands to benefit the entire industry. To those who express doubts, who say it will never work, Lane says to think of a snowball rolling down a mountain. In the beginning, the snowball doesn't look like it's getting any bigger, and then suddenly, there it is. With that, I'd like to turn the microphone over to Dwight for the official presentation.
Thanks, Kate. And I want to tip the hat to Lane for his persistence with all this. I sat on many committees with Lane years ago when he first started talking about this. And as Kate mentioned, you know, we said, yeah, maybe, and okay, so it's big in Russia. Okay, so it's big in, 40 other countries, and, the typical, yeah, well, okay, yeah, maybe, I don't know. And Lane persisted, and Lane persisted with a great passion, and he persisted with great creativity. And as you saw, the SAF PR marketing campaign has picked up on it in earnest. He has led a charge with his company, and I know lots of other companies have joined it. And it's an international event, and finally the U.S. market is part of that international. And it comes from an area, or a lot of it in Russia and those areas, have a lot of stress and a lot of strife and a lot of conflict going on. And women and Women's Day and flowers, I think, is a wonderful international opportunity to bring peace to our country and to bring peace to the whole world. And women and what they do is something that, in fact, can bring peace. So Lane is spearheading a great industry event, but he's also spearheading and leading a great world event. And I take my hat off to you, Lane, for spearheading that. Thank you. And with that, 5,000. Oh, you don't want it? Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, please. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the industry, good morning. My name is Devries, and I'm a California flower farmer. On behalf of the Sun Valley team, it is a great honor to stand here today and for our company to be the recipient of this coveted award. One of the Sun Valley guiding principles is be humble and gracious. And in light of this, we had some trepidation about even submitting this application for this award and rather sidestep the spotlight. But eventually, we did submit, but not because this is about Sun Valley. No. Highlighting the successes up to now speak more to the potential to our industry than it is about our company. I believe the American flower industry won today. And as we're gathered here together, we represent the industry. A few years ago, I was asked to give a presentation at an industry event in Miami. The data that I pulled together for this actually underscored that the American flower business is ripe for transformation. Based on USDA data, using a combination of port of entry values of all imports and the total domestic farm gate values, provided a producer value that increased from $800 million in 1989 to $1.3 billion in 2012, 64% in 24 years. Now, meanwhile, GDP growth over this same period increased by 186%. In other words, as a subset of our national economy, our flower industry actually decreased, our share of the economy decreased by 43%. Then looking at the international arena, countries like Switzerland, Japan, Holland, United Kingdom are in the top quartile of flower consumption, with flower consumption in the $80 to $115 per capita range. Then the United States is in the bottom quartile group with consumption of $20 to $25 per capita. Countries like Greece, Italy, Slovenia actually exceed flower production of the United States. Folks, I don't know about you, but these numbers make me edgy. They underscore the need for all of us to have an open mind towards change. As a floral community, we need to become less Valentine and Mother's Day centric and look for more opportunities to drive sales. Now, there are countless dormant flower holiday possibilities, but Women's Day is the low-hanging fruit and the perfect holiday to bolster sales. First of all, it's an American holiday. It started more than 100 years ago in New York City. In Russia and many European countries, Women's Day became the predominant flower holiday. Flexibility is ideal, as no particular color or flower type is required. But the most powerful attribute of all is that this holiday, 50% of the population is eligible to receive flowers that day. In closing, once again, we are deeply honored for this recognition. This day will help lift Women's Day to the next level in America. I hereby would like to donate the check to the SAF PR Fund with an earmark towards Women's Day promotion. So, Jennifer,
This honor is yours.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I leave you this morning with a hope, a dream, an innate desire, and an unshakable conviction that someday our country will be in the top quartile of flower consumption as the American flower industry collectively embrace this holiday. Thank you, and God bless you.
Wow, what an inspirational way to send all of us off to the rest of our day. As you leave the room, you can read more details on that campaign in the September issue of Floral Management, which we produced extra early so we could have it here at the convention. So you can pick that up on your way out. And with that, that concludes this morning's program. Thank you.